So, according to People magazine, Diddy is no longer on S Watch. Okay. And he has been visited by his family in jail or prison, as you want. And he's now very focused and very strong as he awaits his trial in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. So, I guess his PR team and crisis management team has conferred to him that it's not a good look to um to be in this state in prison when you're him, when you're Diddy, and when you're accused of what you're accused of, and you're saying that you're going to trial. You can't be saying you're going to trial and then projecting this image of weakness that you're cowering in your jail cell and crying and threatening to take your shoelaces and wrap it around your neck and then string yourself up in the ceiling and hang from that. You know what I mean? And maybe that was a little graphic and inappropriate. I'm sorry if that was a little graphic. Sometimes I'm a little bit graphic, you guys. I don't know what that is. Do you think I'm losing it? I just say whatever comes to my mind. This is bad. Anyway, that said, I digress. So, what do you guys think about that? Do you think that this is true, that he's now focused on strong? Or do you think he's still secretly thinking, oh my God, I'm going to pull a Jeffrey Epstein, or they are going to pull a Jeffrey Epstein on me, whatever that even means? Um, I think he might as well be strong and focused, especially if he's going to be, testifying in his case and taking the case to trial and not settling the case, as we learned in various publications, including yesterday in TMZ. Hardly the Bible on this kind of stuff, but usually they're pretty plugged into what's going on because they literally call the offices and the key people and talk to these people. And the guy who owns or runs TMZ, he's a lawyer too. So he's got connections, right? So he knows what's up. And he basically said that, Diddy's not going to plea bargain this case. And look, for me, that makes complete sense. I mean, you can't plea bargain a case like this, right? You have to, you know, stand your ground. If you say you're innocent, if you say these were consenting adults, you made the tapes. Let's see the tapes. Like, let's see the tapes. Let's see the expressions. Let's see the body language. Let's look at all the electronic evidence, the emails, the text messages, and so on and so forth. Let's pull all of that up, right? To uncover what really happened between these two people, Diddy and his girlfriend. Now, we know one thing that happened, again, is the violence, right? He was violent with her, he abused her, he assaulted her, and that there has to be consequences for that no matter what. We know there has to be restitution, which he's already paid 30 million to this person. But there probably also should be some jail time, a year or two in prison to learn his lesson. And then there needs to be community service, in my opinion, as well as mandated therapy. Because when you do this to a woman, you're a sick man. You're a sick man. You need help. You need therapy. Okay, that all being said, I keep maintaining, and I will continue to maintain, that there's a difference between assaulting your girlfriend or your wife or anybody assaulting anybody, but certainly your girlfriend or your wife. It's a girl, you're a boy, you're a guy, you're not even a boy, you're a grown man with huge muscles, huge muscles. No woman can fight you. No woman, unless she's trans and still has a lot of her male hormones, which I'm told does happen. That's why you can't have male um, male male trans people in women's sports because they maintain a lot of their male hormones. Now, if you have a trans girlfriend, like a trans, would it be a trans man or a trans woman? I would say that if it goes from a man to a woman, it's a trans woman, obviously, right? So you have a trans woman girlfriend, right? and you want to fight and beat down somebody, you try it with a trans woman girlfriend because maybe she can still hold her ground against you and potentially even kick your you know what from here to smithereens, right? From here to smithereens, which is what you deserve, right? For hitting a woman, right? How dare you, right? How dare you do that to someone? Sean Diddy Combs, right? So we know you beat up your girlfriend, and so I feel like you should pay the consequences for that. And if the court said you have to do a year or two in prison and you have to do community service, and then you have to get mandated therapy, and then $30 million in restitution, which you have already paid to her, I don't have a big problem with that. I have a big problem with taking that. You have an 11-year relationship with someone. It was not a pretty relationship in many instances, as we can see, but it was an 11-year relationship, it appears. She was at many key events in his life, including, I think, his 30th birthday party, where he invited all of these, or 29th, all of these big shots in Hollywood. She was there as his girlfriend, so they were having a relationship. And some relationships are messy. This was a mess. But there's a difference between a messy relationship that involves domestic violence and racketeering and RICO, right? And to turn that into RICO, I need proof before I can join the bandwagon and say, lock this man up and throw away the key. And this RICO seems to stem from the video that we saw where he was beating her up in the hotel, right? And basically her lawsuit, which alleged that he forced her to and coerced her to have relations with up to 6 different men while he filmed. For me, that's very problematic. It's very unsavory. However, I'm an adult, right? And I can hold my moral outrage to one side and demand the actual evidence on the other side. Because unfortunately or fortunately, whatever turns people on, I mean, I don't know, okay? But there are people who enjoy having intimate relations that perhaps are not for most of us. It's not our taste, right? But their tastes stem to the freaky. It stems to the filth. It stems to, a lot of complexities that, God bless them, right? Was that what that was? Where you had two adults who decided, for whatever their reason, they wanted to bring a third party into their intimate space? Or do you have a man who's at least 10 or 12 years older than a woman who is barely out of her teens at the time of the start of their relationship, exerting his power and control to coerce her, like force her into having these unorthodox intimate relations with other men under threat of doing something to her, either beating her, either whatever the threats are. I mean, is that what happened here, right? And even assuming it is what happened here, is this the definition of racketeering, where his motive for doing it was for his own perverted gratification and not for making a profit? There was no profit motive, which I think, again, is needed to make out a prima facie RICO case. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know nothing about this stuff. It's all just me rambling and my instincts and so on. It's just my knee jerk. This is my knee jerk, right? The prosecutor's case or prosecution's case is riddled with holes out of the starting block because his motive, even assuming he coerced her into doing this, was not for him to make a profit from these encounters. It was for him to be gratified in his own personal and individual way, if, without being too graphic about it, you guys. So my big thing, what was I talking about anyway? 2 seconds. I'm off on a tangent as per usual. Okay, we're talking about the fact that Mr. Combs is no longer being watched for fear that he's going to take his shoelaces, wrap them around his neck, and you know what, right? And look, I say more power to the guy, more power to the guy. Let's see your evidence. Let's do the cross examination. This is your constitutional right. Let's confront your accusers. Let's cross examine. Let's direct, cross, whatever. Show us all of the evidence that you both have. And then I will decide whether he should be locked up and the keys thrown away to a place where they rust and can never be used ever again. Okay, that's all for this one. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.